Welcome back to another episode of the UFC Matchmaking Guru. Today we're going to be discussing the Bantamweight Division. Something recently happened at UFC 238 when Cejudo took both belts, then got injured. So what's going to happen in the meantime? I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen in the meantime, because I know everything about this game. Okay? You've already got... So Moraes is out on the sidelines. I do believe he's going to take some time off, but I think when he comes back, Petr Yan is going to be the perfect matchup for him. Okay? Those two need to fight each other. You've got Petr Yan floating in the top 5 region. Moraes is still the number 1 contender because he holds a win over Aljamain Sterling. That's a good win. That's a very good win. And I think Petr Yan, if he could fight Moraes, may do a similar thing to what Cejudo did to him. And that's a great fight to make, wherever they want to make it. Petr Yan's obviously injured, but he'll be back at the end of the year. So maybe we can see that fight at the end of the year. Good stuff. Aljamain Sterling, what does he do? I know what he wants to do. What Aljamain Sterling wants to do and what he seems to be doing, he wants to sit out and call for the title shot and be I deserve this and I have earned this and I don't need to fight anymore because I've already done all the fights that I need to do to get this fight. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't do that. Eliminate Dominic Cruz as an option. If you want the title shot, beat Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz will be back in action before the end of this year. Aljamain Sterling, fight Dominic Cruz. Fight him and beat him. That's the next fight they need to make. Aljamain Sterling versus Dominic Cruz, who makes his return. Whoever wins that fight will be the next title contender. No questions asked. Done. Pedro Munoz, what's he going to do? I know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to take on John Lineker. That's what Pedro Munoz is going to do. He's going to take on John Lineker in Brazil, and it is going to be a fucking wonderful fight. Now, John Lineker's injured, yes, but he will be back at the end of the year also. Pedro Munoz versus John Lineker in Brazil is a Brazilian bantamweight showdown that I know we'd all want to see. Cody Garbrandt, what's he going to do? Cody Garbrandt. Listen up, yeah. You've lost 3 times in a row. Okay? And you've been knocked out 3 times in a row. I don't want to hear Cody Garbrandt being, I deserve a guy above me in the rankings. I don't even want that for Garbrandt because he will get knocked out again. He's trash. Okay? He really is bad. I want Cody Garbrandt, and I think this should be the case for everyone. Once you lose 2 in a row other than being champion. So he loses as a number 1 contender, and he loses to a guy ranked far below him. Okay? It's then your duty, and it should be a mandatory thing that once you lose 2 times in a row when you're ranked, you have to fight a guy that is unranked that's looking for his spot in the rankings. And I know exactly who he should fight that's unranked. Nathaniel fucking Wood. Ranked number 17 at the moment in the UFC, floating just outside the rankings, from London. Come where I'm from. I might be a bit biased here given in this fight. From London, Nathaniel Wood comes into the UFC as a striker, and he gets 3 submission wins in a row against legit opponents on win streaks of their own. Okay? Alberto Quinones, I believe his name is. Jose Quinones was on a 5-fight win streak when Nathaniel Wood beat him. Okay? Johnny Eduardo had just slipped out of the rankings when Nathaniel Wood beat him. Then he beat Andre Ewell, who just had a huge win last weekend. Like, he's beating legit guys that are legit threats. And I think that Nathaniel Wood versus Cody Garbrandt is a great fight to make. They match up stylistically very well. It'll end up being a striking show. And I think Nathaniel Wood would beat him. So I don't know if Cody Garbrandt wants that fight. Moving on, Assunção's taking on Corey Sandhagen. Jimmy Rivera, what the fuck is he going to do? I know what Jimmy Rivera is going to do. He's going to wait. And he's going to fight the winner of Ricky Simón versus Uriah Faber. That's what he's going to do. Because that's what the smart Jimmy Rivera head would do. And he has a fucking huge head. And he should have a fucking huge brain to go with it. And know that he's beaten Uriah Faber before. And if Faber can somehow get past Ricky Simón, who's a savage in himself, he should take on Uriah Faber in a rematch. And it gives Uriah Faber that bump up the rankings that he's looking for as well. Also, Ricky Simón is a great fight as well. You know what I'm saying? And also, Jimmy Rivera, 2 losses in a row. Take on an up-and-comer. You don't get guys ranked above you anymore. That's not how it works. 2 losses in a row, you fight a guy below you just looking for your spot. That's what happens. Corey Sandhagen obviously taking on Rafael Assunção. John Lineker, as I said, should take on Pedro Munoz in a Brazilian showdown. Moving on, John Dodson still in the mix. 2 losses in a row. Need I go on? Take on an up-and-comer. And who's the up-and-comer he should fight? A rematch with Eddie Wineland? That would interest me. Maybe a fight with Montel Jackson, who's on a 2-fight winning streak on the rankings. Maybe he should take on Marlon Vera. That's a great fight. Vera versus Dodson. A good fight. Moving on. Rob Font. He's looking for an opponent. John Lineker just fell out of his fight. He's looking for a guy to fight that's going to put him up the rankings in any way, shape or form. So, Rob Font, if he really wants it, he could take on Petr Yan. He could take on Pedro Munoz. If any of these fights above the rankings don't seem to work out, Rob Font should be for sure be looking for those kind of fights. You know what I'm saying? If he's looking for a bit of a layup from a guy below him, maybe he should take on Cody Stamann versus Rob Font. Cody Stamann versus Rob Font's a great fight, and a fight I'd like to see. 11 and 12 taking on each other, according to this website anyway. That's a good fight. Rob Font on a 1-fight win streak. He hasn't earned that much. So Rob Font versus Cody Stamann's a great fight to make for me. Ricky Simone obviously taking on Uriah Faber. Thomas Almeida, 2 losses in a row. Take on an up-and-comer! That's what you get. You lose 2 in a row against mediocre opponents. You risk your spot with a guy who needs that spot. So take on Nathaniel Wood. If Nathaniel Wood doesn't get the Garbrandt fight, which is far-fetched, I know. Take on Montel Jackson. You know, take on Marlon Vera. Take on Sean O'Malley when he gets back from whatever the fuck's happened with him in the drug situation. You know, there's guys that are looking for the spots. And there's nothing but entitled guys in these divisions sometimes. If you lose 2 in a row, take on Manny Bermudez. He's 3-0 in the UFC right now. You know, 3 submissions in a row. Take on him. Prove that you're still belonging in the rankings. Earn your spot back. Because otherwise you're going to slide out the rankings looking for people above you that have no interest in fighting you. Because you've lost 2 in a row. Moving on, Alejandro Perez. Coming off a loss to Cody Stamann, he's fighting Song Yadong. That's all we'll go through right now, but I'm looking out for guys in this division right now. Sergio Pettis needs to fuck off out of bantamweight because I don't know why he went up from bantamweight. I don't know why he came up from flyweight. He was a small guy at flyweight to begin with. It's not like he's Henry Cejudo. There's cutting a lot of weight to make flyweight. You know what I'm saying? He's not a big guy. He's completely undersized at bantamweight and he's lost 2 in a row now. And lost to Rob Font, who's not that good. So, you know, you clearly don't belong in this division. Go back down to flyweight. Create some interesting matchups there. There's good fights here, man. And there's guys coming up right now. Merab Devlashi's coming up. 2 fights in a row. Raoni Barcelos in a 3-fight win streak. He's taken on, I believe, Brandon Davis, who made his bantamweight debut and looked very good doing so, finishing Randy Costa in the first round. Second round. There's good guys coming up, man. There's real fucking good guys coming up. And people need to start paying attention. Bantamweight's going to be lit. For the next 6 months, Bantamweight's the division to look out for. It's going to be interesting to see what matchups they make. Like and subscribe. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. But also like and subscribe though. Seriously. It's right there.